Welcome to Corey Michaels Movies once again. I know this is kind of crazy, guys. I'm hitting you ding, 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 ding after I said my phone hadn't been working, which is true. I have to film like this. My phone has to be significantly charged or else the camera doesn't work. It's being really weird. But I got nothing but time. So we got that going for us. That's the difference now. That is the difference. Anyway, so this may or may not turn into a series, possibly, possibly not. This is something this is a movie I've been wanting to talk about since I saw it the other day, which is 3 days ago. It is Steven Spielberg's Hook. Now, this entry is gonna be wrong, Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, so I looked the movie up. I knew it didn't get a high score from critics. I looked it up. The critics gave this a 29. Audience gave it a 76. I could see why. Where did they get the 29 from? Okay, the movie's not perfect, but did it deserve a 29? I don't think so. So anyways, Hook. Steven Spielberg, 1991, starring Robin Williams, Dustin Hoffman, Julia Roberts, Bob Hoskins, and a few others. So basically, it's Peter Pan, played by Robin Williams, who's all grown up now. He's done Forgotten Neverland. He's busy. He's the busy dad. This is the cliche of the movie, I guess you would say. He doesn't have enough time for his kids. He's forgotten what it means to be a kid, honestly. You see that throughout the first 30, 40 minutes. And to me, the best parts of this movie are the first part and the third. The middle gets a little bloated. It's like a shift almost. It wasn't, I don't want to say it wasn't taken as seriously, just the tone of the movie kind of changed. Let's take you from the beginning. Like I said, Robin Williams, he's a busy dad. He doesn't have time for his kids. He goes kind of reluctantly to visit Wendy, who he doesn't remember being the Wendy that is, of course, Wendy in Peter Pan. She adopted him from a young age, and that's really the metaphor of Peter Pan. A lot of these kids, the Lost Boys, they're adopted kids. That's one of the many metaphors and theories, not even almost a theory, but that's talked about throughout the Peter Pan universe. She kind of makes him remember who he was when he was a kid. She makes him remember there was a Neverland. Captain Hook comes in the middle of the night and steals his kids. Okay, of course, this is he's thinking nothing of Captain Hook. He reads a note that was handed or written by Captain Hook, and it doesn't ring a bell at all. So basically, this is a finding one's inner self again movie. Basically, him remembering he used to be Peter Pan. So he goes off to Neverland, still not believing it. He sees the Lost Boys, he sees the pirates, but he's still acting like a lawyer. He's trying to figure out what's going on. He's trying to write checks to Captain Hook. He doesn't understand. But eventually through, not really his own will, but sort of, with the Lost Boys, he finds, he starts to remember. He starts to realize who he once was. He really finds himself, and that is the best part of this movie. Robin Williams' character arc throughout the whole movie. Sure, this movie's not great. It's not perfect, but a 29, that's just insane. And like I said, in the beginning parts, he's kind of too busy for his kid. He's always running around, too busy for the family. So Captain Hook takes advantage of that and tries to take in his kid and said, hey, you know what? I get your dad's not there. I'm going to be there. I'm Captain Hook. I'm the bad guy, but you're not going to know it. Oh, he didn't go to your first baseball game or your last baseball game with you? Well, we're going to have a baseball game here. It's stuff like that throughout the entire movie that leads up and builds up to a great swashbuckle between Hook, played by Dustin Hoffman once again, and Robin Williams. You have an ensemble of characters within the Lost Boys. Rufio, who can forget Rufio? He's the cool dude. Peter Pan used to be the cool kid on the block, not anymore. It's Rufio. We got the red spiky hair. We've got the leather pants. He's almost like a Mad Max biker living in Neverland, played by maybe a 13, 14-year-old. This movie really brings out your inner child, really gives you more of an imagination, or tries to guide you in that direction. Everything isn't about work, 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 guys. It's about having fun, having an imagination, and, you know, sometimes having that inner kid. Everything can't be so serious all the time. And it has a lot of Steven Spielberg magic. There's a lot of touching moments with Wendy and Peter. And you see a backflash of Peter. He's coming back, and every time he comes back, Wendy gets older. She gets a little bit older, and she's older. And eventually she's grown up because she had to stay in the real world. Peter Pan didn't stay there. He stayed in Neverland. Eventually he came out because, of course, he grew up. But, guys, it really has a lot of touching moments. And like I said, the tone difference kind of hurts it within the middle. It really kind of, I don't know, it loses some of its magic, but at the same time, it doesn't. It's really trying to keep it. There's some silly scenes, and I get, you know, it's kind of geared more towards kids. That's understandable. But like I said, the magical, the first 40 minutes really kind of, I love when they dive into a lore, you know, and it kind of dives into the lore of Neverland and the Lost Boys, and I don't know, it's kind of just that Spielberg movie magic. And the ending scene, it works good too. It really does. Like, I don't want to give away too many spoilers. It's the story of Peter Pan. Personally, I think the Disney version is probably the better version. This is the best live-action version. But what it boils down to is, how did Rotten Tomatoes, how did they score this a 29? It makes absolutely no sense to me. And what would I rate this? I would probably give this... Man, it's really hard to say. I'd probably give it a 6.5 or a 7. Starts great, wears down a little bit, picks back up. And there's moments without that are, you know, kind of tearjerker moments, I guess you would say. But either way, I just want to point out Rotten Tomatoes got it wrong on Hook. Okay, you know, if they would have rated it in the 50s, high 40s, I would have been fine. But a 29. That just is not acceptable. The audience scored it a 76. That might be a little high, but I'd side with that over the 29. So anyways, guys, definitely give this a watch. If you've not seen it, I hadn't seen it up until recently, which is kind of crazy, I know. Give it a watch. But I don't know, I might turn this into a series, I might not. In the meantime, also, go catch a flick. Possibly Hook.